All right, welcome back to episode 3 of the series Cooking My Way Through Half a Cow. Now today I've pulled the scotch fillet out of that 1/8 box from Farm to Fridge, and I'm going to be cooking this one a little bit different. I'm going to be reverse searing it by cooking it in the actual pizza oven here behind me and then grilling it on the open flames of our fire pit. And I'm going to keep it nice and simple with the actual seasoning. I'm going to use the malt and pestle and throw some black peppercorns in there, salt, rosemary out of the garden, and then just drizzling some extra virgin olive oil over that. I'm going to crush it all up, pull out my tiger gloves to keep my meningas nice and clean, smother it, bang it straight in that pizza oven, and then finish it off on the actual fire pit. So let's get to it. Now obviously you can't have a fire pit or a pizza oven cooking without a fire, so first job is to actually get fires in this oven and in the fire pit. Okay, so I've got the fires lit. I just need to stoke them up a little bit, get some hot coals for later on. It gives me time now to be able to get that malt and pestle and put the salt and pepper in there and actually get it ground up so I can make myself a nice little olive oil rub. If you don't have a malt and pestle, simply use a pepper and salt grinder, or alternatively switch it out for a dry rub. At the end of the day, there's a ton of good dry rubs on the market and you can make it your own and flavour it however you like. So the reason why I've decided to go plain Jane and just keep it pepper, salt and rosemary is this is a bit of an experiment. I'm doing it in a pizza oven. I've never done that before. And it is grass-fed beef from Two Creeks beef. So I wanted to sort of allow that natural grass-fed beef flavour to sort of shine through and not overcomplicate it or overpower it with a dry rub. So I'm just going to smother the steak with the olive oil rub here, and I've got these tiger gloves on so it's going to keep my hands nice and clean. Alternatively, if you're going to do this by hand, just make sure, food, health and safety is at the forefront. Make sure you've got clean hands. You don't want to get anyone cooked. You definitely don't want to give someone the squirts by putting anything nasty on their steak before you cook it, especially if you're going to leave it and cook it sort of rare. All right, so gloves are off, nice and clean. That's the best thing about those tiger gloves. And then I'm just gonna throw this straight in the pizza oven. I'm gonna use the actual pizza oven spatula or handle, whatever that is, to maneuver it around as well to keep it sort of nice distance from the heat so I don't burn them. Now again, this is gonna be like an oven, so you don't want to put it too close to those coals, otherwise it will cook unevenly and it'll burn. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit it a little bit closer to the opening here because the heat does come up through this chimney, so it's going to pull forward and suck up. And I'm going to put the lid back on here just to create that oven effect rather than the actual pizza open fire cooking method. Alright, so the steak's in the pizza oven there. I've got a few minutes up my sleeve, so I'm just going to quickly whiz up a garlic butter. And all I'm going to do is finely dice some parsley and fresh garlic and then mix it in my salted butter. Nice and simple, a quick one to make up at home if you don't want to go and use store-bought garlic butter. Alright, so similar to your just keep flipping method when you're cooking over coals, I'm just going to keep spinning and rotating this tray just to try and get a nice even cook on those steaks so I don't burn or overcook one end. Alright, so steak's coming out of the pizza oven now. I'm just going to put some olive oil over the actual grill here, just in case the steak sticks. It's the last thing I want, and I've got some rosemary left over, so I'll just brush that to make sure that where I'm putting the steak has a bit of olive oil on it. Again, this is a bit of an experiment. I've definitely cooked over coals before, and it has amazing flavour, especially if you've got a bit of smoke coming up through the meat. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Hopefully it's not going to be overcooked, as I do like a rare steak. By the looks of it, this is going to be more up Claire's alley. She does like a well done steak, whereas me, not so much. Okay, so I'm up the plating up now. I'm going to slice out my steak, basically because there is 3 steaks. We're a family of 5, and I do have 3 kids, and sometimes, as parents know, kids can be absolute arseholes at dinner time, so we're going to try and make this as easy as possible for them. As you can see, the steak was cooked well done. A bit overdone for me. I much prefer rare, but was on the money for Claire and the kids. So at the end of the day, it was an absolute winner. The grass-fed steak was delicious and tender. Hopefully, I'll see you next week for episode 4 of Cooking My Way Through Half a Cow.